We were at a friend's housewarming. I stepped outside to take a call, came back quietly, and heard someone ask my girlfriend, "If he proposed, would you say yes?" She laughed and said, "Ooh, no. I'm not trying to marry someone like him. He's fine for now, but that's it." I didn't say a word, just left. She only noticed I was gone when everyone started looking for me. 3 days later, she's begging me to marry. Before we start, I just want to say thank you for being here. It means the world. But take a look at this. Only 8% of people watching are subscribed. If you enjoy these stories and want to support more of them, just one click makes a huge difference. When you've spent most of your life feeling like you're not enough, hearing confirmation of it hits differently, especially from someone you thought finally saw you as worthy. I spent my childhood bouncing between foster homes after my mom lost her battle with addiction when I was 8. My dad was never in the picture. By 17, I'd lived in 11 different places, never staying long enough to feel like I belonged anywhere. I learned early that nothing was permanent, not homes, not families, not love. Against the odds, I managed to get through high school and into community college on scholarships, worked 2 jobs while studying, got my degree in social work. Now at 32, I run a nonprofit program helping foster kids transition to independent living. The work is fulfilling, but not lucrative. I drive a 10-year-old car, live in a modest apartment, and shop at thrift stores. Not because I'm broke, but because years of instability taught me to be careful with money. I met Sabrina 2 years ago through mutual friends. She works as a pharmaceutical sales rep for a major drug company, all designer clothes and business trips across the country. On paper, we made no sense together, but somehow we clicked. She seemed fascinated by my background, called my work noble and inspiring. I fell hard. For the first time, I felt like someone was proud to be with me. Not despite my past, but because of how I'd overcome it. Our friends were surprised when we kept dating past a few months. Sabrina had always gone for a different type, usually finance guys with expensive watches and vacation homes. I heard the whispers, "It's just a phase. She'll get bored. He's her charity case." I pretended not to hear, but those words echoed familiar doubts I'd carried my whole life. Still, the relationship felt real. Sabrina integrated me into her social circle, introduced me to her parents, kept a toothbrush at my place. We talked about future plans, sometimes even mentioning kids. After 2 years together, I thought maybe, just maybe, I'd found my place. My person. My home. Last Saturday was my friend Troy's housewarming party. Troy and I met in the foster system when we were teenagers. Unlike me, he went the business route, started a successful contracting company, and just bought his first house. I was genuinely happy for him. He'd overcome the same odds I had. The party was going well. Mixed crowd of Troy's friends, some from his business world, some from our shared foster care past. Sabrina was charming everyone as usual, making easy conversation with strangers. Around 9 p.m., I stepped outside to take a call from one of my program kids who was having a crisis. These calls take priority, no matter what. "Hang tight, Marcus. I'll be there in 20 minutes, I said, ending the call. One of my 18-year-olds had locked himself out of his apartment and was panicking. I needed to swing by with the spare key we keep at the office for emergencies. I came back inside through the side door, cutting through the kitchen to find Sabrina and let her know I needed to step out briefly. That's when I heard voices in the dining room, just around the corner. "If he proposed, would you say yes?" It was Sarah, Troy's girlfriend, asking. There was a pause, then Sabrina's laugh. That light, musical sound I usually loved. "No," she said, voice slightly lowered but still clear. "I'm not trying to marry someone like him. He's fine for now, but that's it." Another voice, Kim, I think, asked, "But you've been together for 2 years. Don't you think he's expecting it to go somewhere? Look, Jack is sweet, and the whole overcoming adversity thing is admirable. But realistically, he's always going to be struggling with his nonprofit salary. His idea of a vacation is camping. He still gets those calls from his kids at all hours. It's fine to date someone like that for a while. It gives you perspective, you know? But marry him? Live that life forever? No way." I stood frozen, the weight of her words pressing against my chest. The small velvet box in my pocket, the ring I'd saved for 6 months to buy, that I'd been carrying for 2 weeks waiting for the perfect moment, suddenly felt like it was burning through my jeans. I didn't confront her. Didn't make a scene. Just turned around, walked back through the kitchen and out the side door, got in my car, drove to help Marcus with his apartment situation, then went home. My phone started buzzing around 10:30. Sabrina, Troy, Sarah, one after another, wondering where I'd gone. I turned it off. Sunday morning I had 17 missed calls from Sabrina, along with dozens of texts ranging from annoyed, "Why did you just leave?" to worried, "Are you okay? Please answer me," to angry, "This is really immature." I finally texted back, "I heard what you said at Troy's. I need some space." The floodgates opened. Sabrina called immediately. I didn't answer. She showed up at my apartment. I didn't open the door. She waited in the parking lot for 2 hours before leaving. Monday was more of the same. Calls, texts, emails. She sent messages through friends. I kept responses minimal. Yes, I was safe. No, I didn't want to talk yet. I went to work, focused on my kids, came home, and sat with the pain. Then Tuesday evening, everything changed. Sabrina called from an unfamiliar number, and I answered without thinking. "Jack, please don't hang up," she rushed out. "I just left the doctor. I'm pregnant." The world tilted sideways. I sat down hard on my couch. I took 3 tests yesterday. They were all positive. The doctor confirmed it today. I'm about 6 weeks along. Her voice cracked. "I know what you heard at the party. I can explain that. But right now, I'm scared, Jack. I need you." I agreed to meet her at a coffee shop, neutral territory. When I arrived, she looked different than I'd ever seen her. No makeup, hair pulled back messily, eyes red and swollen. "Before you say anything," she started, "I know what I said was horrible. I've been lying. To our friends, to you, but mostly to myself." When Sarah asked that question, I panicked. All those people watching me. I defaulted to the person I used to be, the person with those stupid surface standards. I just looked at her, not helping. "The truth is, I've been terrified of how much I love you. You're the best person I've ever known, and every day, I worry you'll realize I'm not good enough for you. That you'll see through me. This shallow marketing girl who used to judge people by their cars and vacation photos. So your response was to say you'd never marry me? That I'm a phase?" My voice was steady, but my hands weren't. "I was protecting myself," she whispered. "If I admitted to them, to myself, how much I want a future with you, and then lost you." She trailed off, wiping tears. "It's the stupidest thing I've ever done. And now," her hand moved to her stomach, "and now you're pregnant, so suddenly I'm marriage material?" I couldn't keep the bitterness from my voice. "No, I mean, yes, I'm pregnant, but that's not." She reached for her purse, pulled out a small, worn notebook. "Here, this is my journal from the past year. Read the entry from April 16th. Reluctantly, I took it, opened to the bookmarked page. "Jack mentioned kids again today, so casually, like it's a given we'll have them together someday." I couldn't stop smiling after he left. I've never wanted children before, always saw them as an inconvenience to my career. But with him, I catch myself daydreaming about a little boy with his kind eyes, or a girl with his quiet strength. Is this what it feels like when you found your person? When you finally understand what home means? The entry was from 2 months ago. "I have dozens more like that," she said quietly. "I've been in love with you, planning a future with you, for longer than I've been able to admit out loud. The pregnancy just forced me to stop hiding from it." I closed the journal, pushed it back across the table. I need time to think. That night, I called Troy, asked him about the party, what happened after I left. "Man, it was bizarre," he said. "Like half an hour after you disappeared, Sabrina was showing everyone your childhood photos on her phone. The ones from that album you keep hidden in your closet? She was going on about how proud she is of you. How she wants your kids to have your resilience. Sarah made some comment about you guys getting engaged. And Sabrina got this weird look, then said she was worried you thought she wasn't serious about you." "She had my foster care photos? From my album?" I asked, confused. Those pictures were precious to me, the few fragments I had of my past. I kept them in a fireproof box. "Yeah, she said she's been scanning them to restore them as a surprise. Something about making a proper album since yours is falling apart. Everyone thought it was sweet, but it seemed to come out of nowhere." After we hung up, I dug through my closet. The album was there, but it looked different. The worn blue cover had been carefully reinforced with archival tape. Inside, next to each original photo, was a restored copy. Colors brightened, tears repaired. In the back was a USB drive labeled Digital Backups and a receipt from a professional photo restoration service dated 3 months ago. Wednesday morning, I stood outside Sabrina's apartment. When she opened the door, her expression was a mixture of hope and fear. "I have questions," I said. We talked for hours, about the photos, about what she'd said at the party, about the pregnancy, about our different backgrounds and how they shaped us. "I need you to understand something," I finally said. "I've spent my life being seen as a charity case, a project, someone to pity or fix. I can't be with someone who views me that way." "I don't," she insisted. "That's what I've been trying to tell you. I admire you more than anyone I've ever known. Those stupid things I said, they were my insecurities talking, not my heart. But they came from somewhere real," I countered. "Our lives are different. My work will never make me rich. Those kids will always be my priority. The calls will always come first." "I know," she said simply. "That's who you are. That's who I want to raise a child with. Someone who understands that people matter more than things." I took out the ring box then. Her eyes widened. I was going to propose at Troy's party. Had it all planned out. Was going to do it on the back deck, where he has all those string lights up. Troy was in on it, was going to get everyone outside for a toast. She covered her mouth, tears spilling over. "I'm not giving you this now," I continued, putting the box away. "I'm not proposing today or tomorrow. We have things to work through first. Real things." "I understand," she whispered. "But I do want this child," I said, my voice softening. "And I want to try to build something real with you, something based on who we actually are, not who we think we should be." That was a week ago. We're taking things slowly. Sabrina has moved into my apartment temporarily while we figure things out. She's had morning sickness every day, and I hold her hair back without complaint. We're seeing a counselor together. I'm still hurt, still cautious, but watching her plan doctor's appointments and research parenting books with the same intensity she brings to her marketing campaigns has shown me a different side of her. Last night, I found her scanning more of my childhood photos, carefully handling each one like it was precious. "Why did you start doing this?" I asked. "The photo restoration." She didn't look up from her work. "Because you keep every memory, every fragment of your past, even the painful ones. You taught me that our histories matter, even the ugly parts, especially those." She carefully placed another restored photo in the album. "I wanted to help preserve yours. That's all. I don't know if we'll make it. I don't know if the hurt will fade or if I'll ever fully trust her words again. But yesterday, when one of my kids called at 2 a.m. needing a ride from a bad situation, she was up and dressed before I even hung up the phone. 'I'll drive,' she said, grabbing her keys. 'You look tired.' Maybe that's a starting point. Not a fairy tale, not a perfect resolution, but a step toward something real, something built on who we actually are, not who we're expected to be. And maybe sometimes that's enough."